morning, gentle friends. I hope that you are having an absolutely wonderful day so far. Welcome to my car in beautiful Palm Springs, California. It is very early in the morning. I think you may be able to tell that it is still dark out. It is in fact 5:24 in the morning. And that is earlier than I would typically choose to be awake. However, it is August. It is the hottest month of the year, and I wanted to go for a short hike before work. And if you want to accomplish anything here during the day outdoors, then you'd better do it early before it gets ridiculously, dangerously hot. So here we are in the parking lot, just waiting for it to be light enough outside to start our hike. If you live in the area and you're also into hiking, this particular trail is called Bighorn Overlook. Sorry, I don't know what it is about this parking lot, but it is so creepy. Like, it's just a vibe. There's some vibe, possibly because this is the only pocket of light because there are lights in it, but everywhere else there's no like street lights, no houses, nothing right around here. So it's just pitch black and you can't see anything except this sort of little island of the parking lot. And so, but you're also really close to the main road. So you just hear a lot of cars and movement and people and stuff, but you can't see anything because the road is also like down. You'll see. But yeah, creepy. Okay, so there's two trails that sort of overlap. There's Bighorn Overlook Trail and then Jackrabbit Trail, and I think I kind of do both at different points in this hike. And yeah, the trailhead is in Rancho Mirage, California, and this parking lot is actually the City Hall. Another hiker has arrived, and this, by the way, is not unusual. Everybody has to do this. It's the time of day. Like, when I am driving here and driving through neighborhoods, people are walking dogs, they're watering lawns, they're jogging. Like, the world is awake at this hour. So, probably not going to be filming. Well, I'll film the trail, but I'm not going to like film myself talking because now there's another person and I feel awkward. I feel awkward doing this right now because they're right there. They're going to think I'm a crazy person and they're going to be creeped out. But like I was saying, this trailhead is in the Rancho Mirage Town Hall, City Hall, whatever this is, parking lot. And then you just go up and there's other little trails that kind of branch off so you can pick sort of how intense you want to make it at any given day. And that's what I really like about it. Because there's another person here and I'm now feeling awkward, and also because it will be light soon, I'm going to end the chatty portion of the morning here, but I'll see you on the trail. I don't know why I said that about the chatty portion of the video, because this whole video is going to be pretty chatty, but hopefully you're here for that. I just want to assure you right off the bat that it wasn't as dark as it looks when I started hiking. It's just that the camera I use, which is the GoPro Hero 10, does not have a fantastic sensor for low light situations, so it can make some scenes look darker than they really are. Although in this case, I think it actually worked out pretty well because it means that you can appreciate these beautiful fairy lights that someone has hung up even more. I loved seeing these. They added such a touch of whimsy to my hike, and I hope that this clip is adding a touch of whimsy to your day. It used to be that when I'd go hiking, I would listen to the sounds of birds singing or the wind, just the sounds of nature all around me, and find that really peaceful. But I don't know what it is these days, if it's the grief or the PTSD or what exactly, but I just cannot be alone in my head with my own thoughts like that anymore. So what I like to do now is I will usually find a Willjum video on YouTube and just listen to that. If you don't know who Willjum is, he is a content creator who makes videos about the video game Rust. And I don't play Rust, but my husband does. So I understand enough about the game and mechanics, how everything works, to appreciate a good Willjum video. And what I like is that he he talks about his gameplay for the week in the form of a story. And they're just these fun, lighthearted, low-stakes narratives, well, low stakes to me at least, that I really enjoy. And he also has a very calming voice and accent, if you ask me. Ooh, okay, these rocks are really cool. Every time I do this hike, these rocks are in a different formation, either like a heart or a peace sign or the busted Pac-Man that you see here. There are a few of these types of rock formations along this path, and it's like one big community art project where people just transform them into whatever shape they want on any given day. And every time I come out here, I look forward to seeing what new shapes and images people have come up with to turn the rocks into. Something that I am working on, an aspect of myself that I am trying to improve, is my impulse control. And I really want to talk to you about this just in case it's something that maybe you're struggling with something similar and we can all relate and feel less alone. So I noticed that shortly after my dad passed away last year, I was overspending quite a bit on stuff. And I started looking into improving that because obviously I know people grieve in lots of different ways. Some people reach for comfort food, other people might throw themselves into work or a hobby, or some people might be super healthy and go to therapy. But for me, it was retail therapy. And obviously, I literally can't afford that. So I had to figure out how to fix it. And one of the things that really resonated with me is that when you are overspending and having problems with impulse control, you're chasing a feeling. Now, obviously, I'm sad, and buying shiny new stuff makes me feel happy. But I wanted to really dig deeper and understand why I was buying the things I was buying. What was I really after? And I realized that the feeling I was chasing is that of safety, because my dad is just the safest person in the world to me. He's my protector. He has saved my life on more than one occasion, and not just from like a purely survival standpoint, but he's an endless font of wisdom and advice. And when I lost him, I really lost my guiding light. And I just feel really vulnerable and kind of lost now without him. And so, also he was a Boy Scout, and he would always talk about always being prepared. So I'm sure that played into this as well, because what I realized was with each purchase, I was trying to feel more prepared, and through that preparation, safer. So for example, if I was going to buy a backpack and I wanted to have all of these pockets and this particular fabric, because then I would be prepared for all these different situations that I could use this backpack in. Or maybe I want to buy this pair of shoes that's really versatile and I could use them for all of these different situations. So once I realized that, I was able to frame things differently in my head. The first thing I started doing was thinking of other things that I already own that could meet those needs. Like maybe I don't have this perfect backpack with all these pockets specifically, but I have a backpack that's already really good, and maybe I also have this purse that goes with it that can make up for some of the things it doesn't have. In addition to that, I started looking for more ways to feel safer and more competent in myself. Again, not necessarily from a survival safety standpoint, but just a sense that I can do things on my own. And one of the ways that I started doing that was with work. Actually, I started watching YouTube videos and reading books about this specific topic that I'd already been interested in and always sort of felt like I was deficient in, just to build up my skill set there and feel more confident and competent in that particular area. I also started doing these hikes more often and working out more, really focusing on strength and stamina so that I could feel more competent and secure in my own body and in the things that it can do for me. just knowing my limits and how far I can push them, feeling comfortable in my skin, all that good stuff. Also, honestly, making these videos is also a huge part of how I'm addressing the challenges that I was facing and dealing with the grief, because this is a whole new skill set for me, a whole new way to express myself, the filming, the editing, learning the editing software, how to do the audio, just all of it. So I really want to say thank you for letting me be bad at this until I can get better at it. And if you're also working on an aspect of yourself or learning something new and challenging or whatever the case may be, I just want to give such a huge shout out to you and say you are doing an amazing job, truly, just excellent work, and I'm so proud of you. Now, this is the part of the trail I couldn't show you in the dark, but it's a series of switchbacks down to the parking lot, and it's the beginning and the end of the trail for most folks. It seems like there's always one more switchback than I remember there being. Have you ever experienced something like that? Or maybe when you're on a trail and you're like, man, this is so much more uphill than I remember it being yesterday. This part kind of tends to seem like that, but it's also a lot of fun because this is where you encounter the most people and therefore the most people with dogs. I love seeing a dog on the trail. I never ask to pet them because that feels like kind of an imposition and maybe a little too forward, but I will say hi to your dog all day long. And now we are back to the beginning / end of the trail in the parking lot. And oh, wait a second. I gotta show you the sign. Hang on. This is the sign, and it says Bighorn Overlook Trail. And this is what the trail looks like from the parking lot. So if you are in the Rancho Mirage / Palm Springs area, either permanently or just for a visit, and you want to come to this trail, hopefully this helps you find it. Now let's get back to the car. His name is Oscar, as in Oscar Wilde, and get on with the rest of our morning. Thank you so much for coming on this hike with me.
And we're back. And my roots are on full display because at this point, too hot and too sweaty to care. It is 6:20. I don't know if that's coming through at all. But yeah, a very short hike, as you can see. You can make it longer. Once you get up there, it's kind of a series of loops, and you can go around more than once, go one way, go reverse it, which I like to give us some variety. Oh, I'm sorry if the sound quality just went potato, by the way. I'm too hot and sticky to put the mic on. In fact, funny story about that. So Sierra Schultze here on YouTube did the Couch to 5K program, and I was really inspired by that and thinking about doing it myself. And she did a Q&A, and I asked where in San Diego, because we both live in San Diego, are there trails that are really flat and smooth, good for beginners, and also without a ton of people on them, because I am very out of shape and self-conscious about it. And she didn't respond, rightfully so. I'm sure she thought that I was a psychopath trying to figure out where to lay in wait and kidnap her. But in fact, the reason that I asked what I realize now is a creepy question. I didn't mean for it to be, okay? But genuinely, I am self-conscious about what you're seeing right here and right now, because I once went on a hike with a group of women, and it actually ended up being a pretty big group of people. And I was even more out of shape at that time, but anytime I exert myself even a little bit, especially when it's hot, and it was really hot that day, I just get so red. And I was so red, people kept offering me sunscreen, and I was too embarrassed to say, like, oh no, I'm good, I put some on at home. This is just the way my face looks when I am performing exercise in the heat. So I just kept accepting and then smearing more sunscreen and more sunscreen on my very sweaty face, and just hoping that it would be enough, like whiteness of sunscreen to kind of cover up how red I was, but either I sweated off or it just never layered enough to do that because people just kept offering the entire time, and it was so embarrassing that, yeah, now I have like I'm really in my head about exerting myself in front of other people at the gym, on a hike, especially in any kind of hot situation. I did hot yoga here accidentally. I didn't realize it was hot yoga because it was called something like flow something. Yeah, so anyway, now I'm putting this sweaty red face on the internet. I can't really tell in the camera how red I am. Hopefully not tragically so. But anyway, let's get home and take a shower before work. Well, I'm going to take a shower. You aren't invited to that particular portion of the show, but we will hang out again later. See you soon, gentle friends.
I meant to film more of the day, but it just didn't end up working out. So sorry for the abrupt ending, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, gentle friends.